So for this video, I have abandoned the set and moved to a different spot because behind me is what we're talking about today, a $200 smart TV. So this bad boy right here is an Insignia 24-inch 720p Roku smart TV. So in case you weren't aware, Insignia is the store brand at Best Buy. So this product was bought from Best Buy a few years ago for about $200. I believe it was $199. Now they've discontinued it now, and all of the new Insignia smart TVs actually use Amazon's Fire TV. But this right here is just an example of a budget smart TV, and I want to talk about why those are so useful and how they can be incredible value for money. The key thing with budget smart TVs is that you can't be too picky about size or resolution. As I mentioned, this TV right here is 24 inches, so it's more like a desktop monitor size. You know, most TVs would be at least 43 inches, something like that. So this is quite a lot smaller, which is actually why it's being used with a Mac Mini back here, just as a spare monitor for a desktop setup, which is also incredible because for that $200, you're getting a TV, something you can use as a monitor. You can plug a game console into this, like an older one, like the Wii, because it has video ports on it. So it's really easy to just use it with whatever peripherals and input devices you want. So as I mentioned, this is a Roku TV. So it comes with your bog standard Roku remote. So if you're familiar with this, you'll know exactly how this works. Just turn it on, and I've set it up to default to the HDMI port that the Mac Mini is plugged into. If we just go home, you can see there's the inputs that are there. There's also YouTube and Cheddar pre-installed right now. And then you can also add more streaming channels. You can add your Netflixes, your Amazon Prime Video, all that stuff. It's all on Roku's Internet App Store. And of course, this TV is connected to the internet via Wi-Fi, so you can just set that up with your home network. Just taking a look around back here to refresh myself on the I/O of this guy. There are 3 HDMI ports. Then there's also a antenna in. So if you've got like actual cable that you want to watch on this guy, that is an option. You've got optical audio out, typical S-video component, you know, your red, white, and yellow. And then there's also a USB port. So if you've got something like a Chromecast that needs power, you can just plug it in via that USB port. And there's also around the back a headphone jack. Maybe that's where they've been putting them. And of course, power in. So I would say that's a really well-rounded lineup of I/O because most game consoles or, you know, things you want to plug into a TV are using HDMI these days. If you have a PC, you know, VGA or DisplayPort or whatever, you can just always adapt those to HDMI. So I really do think that's great. And then of course, you've got antenna in, you've got video in for your older consoles like the Wii or anything like that. I have played a few Wii games on this. It's great because the Wii is not a super high resolution console. It came out in 2006. But if you just want to get your Wii Sports fix in, super great for that. So let's go over some of the uses for something like this. If you've got $200 to spend, you're getting a lot of value here. For $200, you can get a 24-inch monitor. Like, that's it. But with this, you're getting a 24-inch monitor, you're getting a Roku smart TV, and you're getting internet connectivity so you can watch things standalone without having to buy anything to plug into it, whether that be a Chromecast or a Fire Stick or even a Roku box or anything like that. And if you have an internet cable package like I do, you can just, you know, download the app, assuming it's compatible, on this TV and just watch your TV without having anything separate plugged in. So I mentioned a couple of them already, but there are definitely some drawbacks to having such a cheap TV. So one of them obviously is the resolution, 720p, But of course that makes it cheaper in 2 ways. 1, the panel itself is less expensive, and 2, the hardware needed behind to drive the panel is also cheaper as well, since that is a lower resolution. So for a desktop monitor, it isn't the best experience, but at 24 inches, 720p is not as bad as you might think, especially if you're sitting, you know, a healthy distance away from your monitor. You're not like bent over like this, trying to get work done. One of the other main drawbacks is the stand. So if I move this chair out of the way, you can see it's actually just balanced on some paper right now because all that's included is this flat base stand here. So there is VESA compatible mounting points on the back, so you can absolutely buy something separate. But if you don't, you're just going to be left with this flat mount. And if you have it flat on a table, it's going to be a little bad for your neck because you're going to be looking down at it most of the time. Something else I haven't mentioned yet is that this TV actually has included speakers, and they aren't bad. So if you're just plugging in something via HDMI, it actually sounds pretty good, and they get very loud. But honestly, for the price, and considering that this TV was about $200, I really cannot complain about the audio quality. It's actually quite decent. So I think this TV is great as a tertiary option or something like that, where if you need a TV in the basement, or you need a TV in a place that really doesn't have a lot of extra space, or you need one upstairs in your bedroom for whatever, then this is a great option. Because if you're not going to be sitting too close to it, or you don't really care about resolution, or the kids just want a TV to watch their YouTube videos or their whatever, it's a great option for that because everything's built in. It doesn't take up much space, and you don't have to have anything connected to it, like a cable box or a Chromecast. Also, if you have an older console like a Wii or something like that, this is a great option to just, put somewhere and people can play a few games, real casual, and the low resolution and size really isn't gonna matter. I think it's hard to argue at this point that the value for money that you're getting with these budget $200 or so smart TVs isn't amazing. Roku is built in, so you've got tons of app and service compatibility with all the things you might be using, and it's super easy to set up and use thanks to the basic but included Roku remote. So there you go, that wraps up this video on budget smart TVs, including this model in particular. They are great for so many purposes, and it's awesome that this technology continues to come down in price so more and more people can have access to it. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more tech videos just like this, and you can also follow me on Twitter at KyleGNew.